Uh-oh, that didn't sound good.
Why?
Oh, no.
What's up?
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo.
The next station is Concourse C.
The next station is Concourse C.
Color-coded maps and signs in the vehicle match the station color.
Color-coded maps in this vehicle match the station color.
Color-coded maps and signs in this vehicle match the station color.
Color-coded signs. Color-coded maps and signs in the vehicle match the station color.
Close enough. Please move to the center of the vehicle and away from the doors.
Please move to the center of the vehicle and away from the doors.
This vehicle is leaving the station. Please hold on. Next stop is Concourse B. The color-coded maps and signs in this vehicle match the station colors. Please move to the center of the vehicle and away from the doors.
Then 8.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ.
I liked how you said 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, now I got to leave that in the recording. I was going to cut it out.
Oh, don't cut it out. I like the dance count.
I don't even know if it actually made it. Maybe I was counting to me pressing record.
Normally, if it's not in the recording, Greg goes 3, 2, 1. And then doo-doo-doo-doo. But this time he did a dance count. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Then we went straight into it, setting a different tone for a new year, even though it's not the new year yet. Though, what is it? October is already half over. The new year fast approaches. I was reading something the other day. I know you don't follow Marvel, which is fine, because you can still take something from this. The Blade movie, the director quit, and that pushed everything. But because all the Marvel movies lead into one another and set things up for future movies, when one movie gets pushed, like Blade, it pushes everything else. And like the new schedule is like Avengers coming out 2027. Like Jesus.
Whoa.
I was like, Jesus Christ. It seems so far away, but it's really not that far away. It'll be here.
It is kind of far away when it comes to the age of the actors.
Yeah, at that point, I guess, yes. But see, they've started recycling them. Not recycling them, because that means they would bring them back. They've started cycling them out. So and a lot of the original actors, their story arcs are done, and the new characters are coming in to take the place. So you're right. If somebody, it's always weird when Thor, who apparently lives for God knows how long, you see him age from 2010 to now.
Right.
Like, well,
why does he age so fast all of a sudden?
yeah, for the God of Thunder, who apparently should have his youth for millennia. Millennium? Millennium singular, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
And millennia is plural.
Good job.
Well, I still had to question it. So I don't know how good of a job it really was because it threw us off track. So you're right on that. But, I was thinking about when I went to Atlanta to work with Eric on the Driving and Crying movie in the edit. And when I was down there for quite a bit, and you were pregnant with Ellie, it was 2014. It doesn't seem that long ago. When we were approaching 8 years, 9 years.
To me, that does seem like a long time ago.
No way. That was fast.
But a lot has changed for me, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Nothing's changed for me. So it's all just blurred together.
Well, things have changed for you, but not like huge.
Oh, not in the same way.
Yeah. Okay.
You haven't nearly gone through the same stuff I have.
I don't mean it like
There's so
I
much
mean it
stuff.
to be so shitty sounding.
So much difficult stuff in my life and just good stuff. I don't say just difficult. There's so much stuff that's been happening that it feels very long. That time has been stretched.
Yeah. My life is so complex and and just intense, You
do have a lot going on. You got to drive to that yacht club.
I do. I'm very busy.
How long is that drive?
It's like 25 minutes.
How bad's the traffic get?
Not bad at all.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, gosh, that is kind of a long way. But it's not like it would be in Atlanta where it's like, oh, shit, like I'm fucked up on 85 now and I have to figure this out. And it's not even like huge highways like that. It's more chill.
As long as you have a good Spotify list. Oh, sorry, Amazon Music list because you don't use
Please.
Spotify.
Spotify. I'm just kidding. I would like a Spotify list, but I like sort of put all my eggs in Amazon, so I'd have to do a lot to move over into Spotify.
Why does Alexa not? It's not compatible with Spotify. Is that the way
No,
they
it
set
is.
this up?
But all of the like my playlists and things are all on Amazon, so I'd have to go through Spotify and sort of like start a whole new relationship with them. And then I'm sure I would enjoy it because then they provide other music that sounds like the stuff you're into, and then you discover new things, which I would like, but I just didn't start there.
Now they've got you trapped in their ecosystem. And, I've got the Fire Stick. And when I try to talk to Alexa and the Fire Stick, sometimes she's helpful, sometimes she's not. And I find when I'm trying to do stuff with YouTube or YouTube TV, not very helpful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she wants to make you pay. How dare you not live in Amazon Prime constantly and use the other apps like Disney Plus. Though I found out, and this is dumb, and I'm sure most people already know this, I found out that Disney Plus, they actually do host all the R-rated adult stuff. I thought because Disney, we love the children. We're good and safe for the children. It's always about the children. We use your children against you so we can make a lot of money because you can't say no to your children. But I guess the default setting on Disney Plus is TV 14 is like the highest it'll allow you to see. And you can log in, not on the app. You have to go into the web-based login, but you can change it and open up a whole other realm of Disney Plus where where like Logan pops up and
well, like the stuff that they released through like Touchstone.
Yeah, I haven't gone through it fully, so I don't know of everything. When they bought Fox, 20th Century Fox, I don't know if that's up there.
Oh, is it? I wonder if on your so maybe you can change the age restriction on just your profile.
Yeah, it's per profile.
Because I have the kids' profile and I don't want to change theirs.
But they could just use yours at that point. Can you lock yours?
No, but they won't because they're excited to like
use their own.
That's my face or whatever.
There's still got to be a way to block you. Anyway, that aside, I found out that, I could open this up.
That's cool.
Because ESPN 30 for 30 apparently is not suitable for children. And one of the weird things that I noticed was all these 30 for 30s, these sports documentaries, which I'm sure.
Those are cool, right?
Yes. There's a reason people who don't like sports also like these. They do a good job telling the stories, and they're shot well, edited well. Those popped up too. So little secret with Disney Plus, if you didn't know, which again, I'm sure everybody knew, but I didn't.
I didn't know.
I just thought that Disney was trying, they were never going to me, they bought 20th Century and all the R-rated movies that came along with that, there was just, who knows where it was going to be. I thought they vaulted it with Snow White.
Yeah. And Beauty and the Beast.
But it's nice to know. Like I said, I didn't dig through it all. Is it 20? Well, it's 20th Century Studios. Did it become 21st Century Fox? Did they update it with the new century?
I don't know.
I think it was 21st Century Fox. 20th Century Studios at some point was probably 20th Century Fox, then became 21st Century Fox. It's very confusing, but it makes sense.
Why are they changing their name? Just be the same. That's when it started.
Well, it changed the millennium.
I know, but it's all right. It could just be when it started.
The decade changed.
Yeah.
I mean not the decade, the
century.
Yes, it's built in right there to the fucking name. It's again slipping my mind. It's like I know what the term is for 100 years because I'm saying it, and then it just
I know
and just left my brain, which is why today's show we should establish is the Free for Fall 2022, where even though we've gotten pretty lax with this, I think we're not really sticking to one topics anymore.
Mm-mm. Maybe a little bit.
A little bit. Some. Teeny bit. But this is the show.
I don't think it really matters. I think if people weren't enjoying it or if we felt like it sucked, then we would change it. But I don't think it sucks.
Yeah, but you got a whole, the selling point is we're going to talk about one topic. And if we did it correctly, we'd put a lot of research into the show. We'd go in depth. We'd tell people about steamboats and the history of steamboats and
Sounds boring
the
as
first
fuck.
steam. But that's the trick. You take these things that people think on the surface are boring and you find ways to make them interesting and you present it and you do some soundscaping where there's a steamboat whistle and the sound of the river and the busyness down by the docks and
Oh man, river.
the dock workers yelling at each other and
I got that pallet over here.
yeah, walla, dock walla.
Akwala?
Walla is just a term where it's like crowd noise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
WALLA.
I thought you were talking about that band from the 90s, Dishwalla.
Yeah, maybe that's something to do with it. Maybe they were
Yeah,
playing into that. In American radio, film, television, and video games, walla is a sound imitating the murmur of a crowd. Walla. Dishwalla.
Interesting.
Counting blue cards.
We count only blue cards.
I think I threw a D in there.
You did, count of blue cards.
Again, I know it's cars. I don't know why the D came out.
Many questions like children often.
But what if God was one of us?
That's what's her name?
That's the other song. I
Not
did
from
that.
Dishwalla.
No, I did that one on purpose.
Oh, okay.
But they do reference God as being a woman, Dishwalla.
Tell me all your thoughts on God.
I'd really like to
Because
meet
I'd
her.
really like to meet her.
Yeah, and then what if God was one of us? That referenced God as a woman too. This was cutting edge stuff in the 90s. This was blowing people's minds. You had two
She
bands.
did? I don't remember that.
What if God was one of us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was mentioned, right? Don't trust
No,
me
he
today.
says, what would he look like and would you want to see?
No, you're. God damn it! I suck today.
Man. That's
Well,
the topic.
Well,
Great.
I don't feel tired or anything. It's not like I drink. I don't drink that much anymore. I don't know what's going on.
Whatever. It's all right.
It's like the sugar rotting my brain.
Oh, maybe.
I've been eating
Don't have
even
so much
more.
sugar.
I go to the CVS and I buy the big bags of candy on sale. I'm not going to buy it not on sale because a big bag of candy is $17.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it is out of this world, these prices.
Wow.
It's very
$17 for how much?
50 pieces. But see, you have to get the good bag. The good bags are more expensive, meaning the ones that have, whether or not you like it. I can see you not liking the Hershey's cookies and cream, but those come with.
That used to be my favorite. Like when it first came out.
So there's the
It's
bags.
funny that you mentioned that really quick because Ellie, I let them get like a candy the other day and she got the Hershey's whatever. And I was telling her like, man, that didn't exist when I was a kid. It like came out and I was so excited and it was my favorite.
They are good.
Yeah, she liked it a lot. She's like, do you want some? I'm like, no.
So
No.
there are the bags that have that and Reese's peanut butter cups that are shaped like bats and Kit Kats that are green. And
Ew.
it might taste the same. Well, it's actually probably more of a white chocolate. It's just,
Oh, that makes sense.
so I think it's a white chocolate that has been dyed green. But it's a light green. It's not a dark green.
Like a mint green.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the mint taste. So there's the bags that don't have the shitty candy thrown in, like Mounds or something else that people don't want.
Oh, I see.
And those
it's
are-
like it's like the party bag of those little
It's the Halloween.
guys.
Yeah, it's the Halloween bags.
I see.
So there are the bad ones that are still pretty expensive, but I think 50 pieces was $16.
Wow.
But then they've always got sales going on. You use your CVS card.
Oh yeah. You get like that weird money all of a sudden for some reason.
Cereal. I know. I do buy cereal,
Only for the kids.
but you buy generic brands, right? Aldi brand, probably.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Like Fruit Hoops.
How much is this costing you these days?
I'm not sure. I just buy it. You know,
Oh, must be nice to not worry about money. Just whatever, throw it in
I
the cart.
do, but I just like listen. There's some things I need cereal. So what am I going to not buy cereal? Just buy it.
Cereal, like the name brand ones, the smaller boxes are like $7.50 now.
Are they really?
And the bigger boxes are $10, but CVS always has sales where it's $1.99. And I get really angry though, because I go and the shelves are picked over, and I've taken to yelling aloud when I'm in the store. Fucking vultures. Goddamn
But what are you
fucking
doing there?
vultures. But I know, but the rules don't apply to me.
I see.
I'm late to the game. The vultures have already been there, so I'm angry. If I was early on, I'd be one of the vultures eating the rotting flesh. And then sure,
Right.
I'm just angry that I'm not one of those vultures.
The carcass has been picked clean.
But yeah, I've taken to just saying that aloud. Like, I'm not screaming it, but I'm saying it loud enough for someone in the aisle, and I'm alone. I'm alone and saying, fucking vultures. This is outrageous. Can you believe this? It's like they hang around outside the store and wait for the doors to open on Black Friday. Gotta get the cereal, $1.99.
Well, that is, I mean,
They're not.
no one's hanging around for cereal on Black Friday, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they're not. They're also not hanging around the CVS. I just want I want delicious Golden Grams and Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
That's all you want.
and I got Lucky Charms, which I don't eat that often. But Lucky Charms are a pain in the ass to eat because of the way I eat them. I save all the marshmallows, the marbits, till the end.
We've talked about this before. I used to do that, and then I realized that it's the contrast that makes the cereal delicious. It's not not just suffering through the not marshmallow parts.
Yeah,
It's the combination. It's the same thing with Oreos. I used to only want the middles, but now I realize that the middles combined with the cream inside is what makes it delicious.
I don't agree with you necessarily. I think those two go well together, the Oreo, when you eat it as it's made.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still nice to have it in the separate parts. I get sandwiches and I pick the cheese off.
Oh, because you want the cheese on its own?
Yeah, I want to taste the cheese alone.
Why does the cheese stand alone?
I wouldn't do that in a restaurant, but in the safety of my own home where it can be a slob.
Yeah, be a slob.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the actual cereal part in Lucky
What's
Charms
it
is.
supposed to be? It's probably like puffed rice or some shit.
I don't think that one's rice. That's why.
No, I don't.
And I'm getting so much wrong today that I need to redeem myself. I can't throw out. I've already run through my allocation of
Mess ups.
yes. I'm on thin ice. It doesn't matter. Lucky Charms, by the end, the milk is gray. And I find that to be strange.
Mm-hmm. It is strange. Something's wrong.
And it doesn't taste so good. Like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the milk at the end.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, it's very good.
Oh my God, that is the best.
And I have to say the Golden Grams are pretty good too. And Golden Grams are also good for ice cream topping.
Oh, that makes sense. I really liked, I didn't grow up eating them, but what are those like little like nuggets that are yellow?
Pops?
Oh, no, I don't mean that. The honeycombs.
Oh, yes. Those aren't.
Those are really good to eat dry.
I never really ate those either. And you know what I never ate?
What?
Cookie Crisp.
Oh, I got Cookie Crisp and I was so excited. And then I was so disappointed. I'm like, oh man, this is just like weird puffy air. It's not cookie.
I think I knew that. I think I knew that without ever eating it. Like those aren't real cookies. Get this away.
I had to learn the hard way.
Oh, look. Not everyone can be so smart.
Yeah, I guess not.
I was smarter in my youth.
You were.
Not as smart
anymore.
anymore.
Yep.
With the sugar eating. Maybe it's syphilis. Who knows?
Well, you would know if you had syphilis because I think you'd like have like pus coming out of your penis.
Well, something is eating my brain. I don't know what it is.
Isn't that what they said happened to that famous
Capone
Capone
in jail.
like, riddled with syphilis?
Yeah. He was in jail. He didn't know, and it just ate away at him.
What a chooch.
Though I guess he died of cardiac arrest after a stroke.
Yeah, but what gave him the stroke? Syphilis.
Why did Capone not treat his syphilis? He was too
probably
ashamed. He was too ashamed to seek out medical attention.
An idiot.
That's wild.
It is wild.
I'm just going to live with this. This has got to remain a secret. I'm going to let it eat
It's like
away.
Catholic guilt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but all the murder that he did and theft and
Well, that's different. That's because that was like, yeah, you got to make your name. You got to do this. You got to get respect, loyalty, blah, blah. But this was like shameful sex.
got to be a
different.
man. I'm rewatching The Sopranos.
Ooh, interesting.
Well, Christina's never seen it, but there's spoilers galore. There were spoilers in stupid Marvel shows. I forget what we were watching. We were watching two things. Well, one, she decided to watch Many Saints of Newark because she had watched the first couple seasons of The Sopranos. She's like, all right, maybe this will make sense as a prequel. But I forget that it opens with narration from Christopher, and he says in the first couple minutes of the film that Tony killed him. I was like,
Oh, man.
that's a big spoiler.
Does he say like, when Tony killed me?
He said something along those lines.
Yeah.
And
Never
then
did I expect Patone to kill me.
and then in She-Hulk, which I heard you guys on the radio show the other day, and you talking about how I was a big fan of it. I never said I was a big fan of She-Hulk. I just
Oh, I
said,
thought, did I say big fan?
no. I just I'm
Yeah, I
exaggerating.
think I just said that you didn't mind it and that you had some commentary on it. That was reasonable.
there's within that show some time jumping, or no, it's not time jumping, it's space jumping, meaning someone just goes into someone's living room and they happen to be watching The Sopranos,
Okay.
and it's spoiled that Adriana's killed.
Oh, man.
so
Oh,
so Christina heard that,
that's
and
so upsetting.
and then I was talking to Tim about this, recording the podcast with him, and he brought up, oh yeah, and then remember when Christopher sits on the dog and kills the dog, and then Christina listened to that episode and finds out
Damn it.
the dog dies also.
So annoying.
So I mean, look, can you
Listen, it's her fault for waiting so long.
That's what I was gonna say. Can you really
Yeah.
blame? She's not angry. I just think it's funny.
No, I know.
I think it's pretty funny.
It's fun. Damn, it's like everywhere. You can't get away from it.
It is strange how it seems to be popping up again. Not that it ever left popular culture, but it seems to be popping up again in other forms of popular culture. They're referencing it at this point, and I don't know what the draw is.
You know, well, Jersey Shore was kind of making a little renaissance for a second. I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
Maybe there's a fear that it's going to disappear since that Discovery network bought Time Warner. And there's the whole talk of getting rid of HBO Max.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Why?
I mean, and not that they would get rid of The Sopranos, it'd live somewhere. And cost cutting. It's all cost cutting. You
But
just
isn't
heard.
that making them?
Go ahead.
What?
You said, isn't that making
Oh, no, I didn't. I said, isn't that making them money?
what? HBO Max?
Yeah. Why would they get rid of something that just sits there and makes money?
I don't know if it is. Or, HBO was always weird with HBO Go and HBO. What was the other one?
Oh, I don't know. But you're right. There was some weird overlaps.
And then AT&T bought Time Warner and said, we're pushing out HBO Max. And people said, people don't even understand what these other ones are. HBO Now.
I never knew.
I think it was HBO Now, HBO Go. Like, they don't even understand this. You're going to put a new one on them. And he said, I don't care. We got to keep up with the streaming platforms and force that one out. And it was botched. And I remember HBO Max sucked at first, like just the functionality of it. And you're right. Once you have it and there's a lot of stuff on there you want to watch, I don't think they're going to get rid of that. I think they want to combine it, which makes zero sense to me, with Discovery Plus. So you can watch.
Ew, why would they do that?
So you can watch 90 Day Fiance next to The Sopranos. So I guess just combine the platforms, and then people
Yeah.
pay for it, maybe up the price. But they're
Are you
canceling.
watching the new 90 Day Fiance stuff? I'm
No,
not.
no, I'm bored.
Yeah. It's all the same sort of thing. And then when these shows go on for too long, everyone becomes caricatures. Like everybody knows what to do. It loses some of its innocence, which is it's reality. So once it becomes less reality, then I'm out usually.
No, you're exactly right. If you're going to watch one, watch the British version, the UK,
Oh, really?
because it just feels like what 90 Day Fiance and reality TV was at first, where
Right.
it's more like we're just documenting this, and the people aren't playing parts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's more human. and real, the people are still dumb and you still get angry at them for the
Yeah.
decisions they make.
But like, I don't need to see Angela yell at Michael anymore. Like, I get it. He's gonna do something. She's not gonna like it. She's gonna yell at him. She's gonna break up with him. And then somehow they're back together. Like, she's gonna ask Skylar to tote her baby.
I'm with you. And it's like everything's slick. The way it's shot
Yeah.
is slick now, and you can tell the situations that producers are stirring shit, or they set up conversations with a friend who asks the most ridiculous questions. Like no
I
one
know.
would really ask that, but you've been told to ask this.
Oh my God. Anytime that they are meeting like the friends, you know, and the friends always ask like the most inappropriate things. So did you guys have food in your country? Are you here because you're so poor and you're just here for money?
Which sometimes I think it's a valid question to ask.
It is, but not in this context. You're not going to bring that up over dinner, meeting someone for the first time. So are you just like a gold digger or what?
Muhammad in that most recent season got that treatment, though he did deserve it. That guy was strange.
The one that looks like this.
Yeah, the one that you did an impression of on posted online, and people were starting to turn on you.
That was so annoying.
Yeah, but you were digging in your heels. They were starting to call you racist, and I
I wasn't digging in my heels. I was just defending myself and then just let it go.
You're right. Like you're right. You were only saying things that he had said, and you were doing his voice. It's not like you were
Yeah.
playing into stereotypes, throwing those out there. But once those people start to turn on you,
Yeah, there's no
and
going back,
and
especially online.
and the fact that it's very easy to figure out your real name based on your handle on
Your
Reddit.
username being my real name.
Yeah, and that you're somewhat public with the radio show. It's like it's not worth it.
I get it.
Get the hell out of there. Delete the post as quickly as possible. Reddit's stupid anyway. You know this. I was on the Nice Guys Reddit the other day, which is
Nice guys.
which is guys who claim to be nice guys. I'm a nice guy, and nice guys never get anything. It's always women going with the guys who are going to treat them like shit. And there's a lot of screenshots of people who claim to be nice guys. And then there's conversations happening on dating apps, and then the woman eventually at some point says, "I'm not interested," and the guy turns on her and like calls her a bitch and fat, and like it's absolutely deplorable behavior. It is
Right.
pretty disgusting. And I'm sure that women deal with this all the time. It's like there's this idea that the guy's owed something, and when the woman says no, it's like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah, what do you think? You're too good for me?
Yeah, and I know,
You look like a piece of shit.
and we've talked about this before. But there was a posting. It's long, so I don't think I should read the whole thing. But there was a posting like, "Look at this nice guy," and the thing the guy posted was, "Girl told me she would contact the police if I texted her again, and I did. What should I expect next?" He posted this in legal advice because I think he was really scared that she was going to call the police. But somebody hijacked that and posted it in Nice Guys. And it said, "Long story short, met a girl on Tinder and talked for a whole month about forming a relationship, but never got the chance to meet before she randomly ghosted me, even after she repeatedly promised that she wouldn't and that she wasn't going anywhere. She randomly unmatched, blocked my number, and Snapchat,
Yeah.
when it was going incredibly well and getting along perfectly. We never even talked about anything sexual. I downloaded a free texting app to get a temp number because if I tried texting on my actual number, she wouldn't have gotten the message because she blocked it. I just asked her what I did wrong and what was wrong with me, so I knew what to work on to be a better person. And she replied with, "I'm not interested. Please don't contact me again. If you do, I will contact the police." So I replied, "Send them over. I have no problem showing them our entire history of texts and
Send
messages
them over.
from the very start because I've done nothing wrong." And there's plenty of things in there, like you're cringing at it. It's like, don't ask someone how to be a better person.
Yeah,
What if-
because you're not going to take that constructively.
No. And it's just a ploy also to get the person to respond.
Exactly.
It's like if I
That's
just
why she's like, don't contact me again because I'm letting you know this is done and you're not accepting it, which is scary.
and yeah, so there's plenty of things wrong with this. Like the moment I can understand someone ghosts you and you think it's going well, and you're like, what the why? And you want
Yeah, you're
answers.
disappointed, but that's not. Yeah, you're not. The other person doesn't owe you to not be disappointed.
No, they don't. And so this one though, because there are guys who get so disgusting and their responses. I wrote a response. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, it's hidden because it's been downvoted.
Oh man, what'd you say?
I said there's so much deplorable behavior from men. This doesn't even come close to some of the disgusting things I've read on here. If we take his story at face value, I'm sure it was confusing to him as to why the woman he was speaking with abruptly cut off all contact and turned cold. This is a big if, I know, but making assumptions and filling in blanks as to what he may have also done is a big if. Let's say they really were just chatting, enjoying each other's online company, and dabbled in conversations about the future. It's not improper to get excited when something is seemingly going well. When that suddenly ends, I'd say it's natural to question what happened and have a hard time grasping why, especially when the person just disappears. Wanting to gain some insight is not a wrong move. Sure, it gets a bit desperate when you're making a person promise not to ghost you, while asking them to tell you how to be a better person is pathetic. It's not their responsibility and doubles as a cheap ploy to get a response. He certainly should have left it alone when she blocked. And I said the texting app is a gateway to creepy, though this still reads as an act of desperation rather than manipulation. When she replied, telling him to leave her alone, there was no valid reason to respond, but it doesn't warrant this type of vitriol. Unattractive and insecure, definitely. Some kind of aggressive, demeaning monster, I don't see it this time. I was downvoted. People hated that response.
Why?
Because there's these hive minds, and this whole subreddit is, look at this asshole dude. Dudes are assholes, which, I buy into for the most part. Dudes can certainly be assholes and act very entitled when it comes to women. And they think because they put forth the effort that they're owed something. Like quite often it pops up in this subreddit, someone takes someone to dinner and like they're angry that the woman didn't put out, I paid for dinner, and she just left and then said she wasn't interested. And it's like, yeah, that's gross behavior. And with this guy, it just seemed like maybe a young guy. I don't know his age, but it seemed like a guy who was like, this was going well and I don't know what happened. And
Right.
yeah, there were stupid things. Tell me how to be a better person. Like, that's pathetic.
And no thanks. I'm not interested in teaching you something.
Exactly.
I'm not your mom.
All of that is valid, but the way people were writing about this guy, I was like, I think I don't see it with this one. I don't see it being as awful as a lot of these, and people just won't have any of it, which I think is commentary of the bigger picture. Like they're just sides. There really isn't nuance to things.
Yeah, and online is different. Like if you were speaking in person, it might be different.
Well, someone, there's always that one undercover incel lurking about in here, as if I'm an incel because I wrote that. And I'm defending incels. Yeah.
No, you're just being objective.
Nothing I wrote in that response. Yeah. It's like, oh, he's defending incels.
Yeah.
No matter
I
what.
think,
no matter what, no one will ever feel any sympathy for this filth. It's like, I don't think
So
that guy
said?
Yeah, I don't think that guy was filth.
Damn, no, not at all. He was just being stupid.
And I dug into the original thread that he posted, and he's pretty dumb. He's a pretty stupid person.
Oh, okay.
And there was a level of hypocrisy.
Sure.
In that he was not understanding why she cut him off and said, don't contact me. Why contacting her was a wrong thing to do. And then within the thread, he's telling people not to come after him, and they kept coming after him. He's like, why aren't you listening to me? And I was like, yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Yeah, it's like playing with hot coals and then getting mad that it's burning you.
So,
But then you keep reaching in. Stop burning me.
so I think that whole thing is a long way of saying you going back to your Mohammed posting where you're doing your impression of him. It doesn't matter. People are just making up their minds.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why I was like, you know what? I don't need to. I'm not gonna teach anyone anything, and I'm not gonna convince anyone of anything. So just whatever. It was fine.
Yeah, and there's no winning. So just get the hell out of there before things.
Yeah, that's
things.
And what am I? I have to. I have so much. I don't know, such an ego that I have to teach them that I'm not bad.
I'm a defender of
care.
comedy. I'm a comedian.
I don't give a shit.
I'm a defender of the impression.
Yeah.
You guys are ruining the impressionist's life.
These strangers need to know that I'm a good person.
The livelihood of the impressionist has been destroyed by wokeness.
And that's the thing, like when you some people we know, like if they're criticized, then they really go hard on about like how much they're not the thing they're being criticized for. And eventually it just sounds like, do you really believe you're not the thing you're being criticized for? Because the more you talk about it, the more you seem like not convinced.
It's best just to shrug. You're right.
Yeah, it's like,
just
okay.
yeah, okay, whatever you say.
Right.
I was driving yesterday, trying to get to the highway, but there was like 3 lanes leading up to the ramp, and this car, BMW with Florida plates,
Florida.
was like, I don't know if I was in its blind spot or it just didn't care, but I was in that spot where it started coming over and they were going to hit me. And I don't,
Right.
again, maybe they're just being aggressive. So I honked.
Yeah.
They slowed down and we're creeping along because it's traffic. They stopped completely, let the traffic move up a bit so they could get behind me, then went over into the other lane on the other side of me, pulled up next to me, rolled down the window and started screaming at me.
Whoa.
And, there's part of me that wanted to flip them off and start yelling back.
Right.
And it's like, what? This guy pulls out a gun at this point, shoots. It's not even, I ended up just laughing. And I looked and like did a laugh at the person. I didn't point. But even that could have set them off. But they ended up just driving away. But it's like, people are insane.
Yeah. Just gotta, there's nothing to be gained from continuing an interaction like that.
How dare you fucking honk at me? You come after my honor. It's like, it wasn't even like I honked and screamed. I just honked so the person knew I was there.
Yeah. Hello.
The point of a horn,
Right.
to warn them.
Horn.
Yeah, they didn't take it that way though.
Again, the people that, are sort of acting the most tough by like, I'm going to show them, like they're not going to disrespect me. Like you seem so much more weak now. Like there's strength in knowing what's not having to prove whether you're right or wrong.
I agree. This person probably felt good about themselves.
Right, but that's weak-minded of them.
In the instances I've reacted like that. And I've told the story about where I yelled at the homeless guy because I had the broken phone and he got angry at me that I didn't give him money and claimed that I was rich because I had a fancy phone when it was a really crappy flip phone. So that like set me off and I yelled at him. And then afterwards I felt dumb. I was like, why did I do that?
Well, he was yelling at you.
Sure. But, there's no reason for me to respond like that. I'm just building on the point you made. Afterwards, I think about it.
You're right.
I didn't feel good.
But I know you, so it's different.
Yeah, but I didn't feel good. I was like, I showed him I'm really a tough man. I proved my manhood today. My respect is intact.
For some people that, that does work.
My street cred. You fucking honk at me. Also, get the fuck out of here, Florida.
Well, I was going to say before, I don't want to get too far away from it, but the hitting on thing.
Because you want to talk about
last night.
You want to talk about the guy at that bar.
Yeah. So
you gonna tell people the name so they can come find you?
No. But he thought I was cute and he let that be known, but he like immediately started like touching me, like putting his arm sort of on me or like coming up behind me at the bar like we knew each other and like putting his arms around his arm around my waist and like bringing me in. I was like, what the hell? I didn't act mad, but I rejected him. Okay, so before he came up to me, like while I was sitting at the bar, I was talking with my friend and she introduced me to him because she's a bartender in Crofton. And
is she friends with him or is it just a guy she serves?
No, I think she just knows him from being around.
So that gives him an in too, he thinks.
Right. She's like, he's like, just drunk, like that drunk smiley face that, he's like, where do you live?
Can you find a picture of him? I want to see.
I don't have a picture.
You can find him on Instagram.
He looked like a thumb. He was bald. He was tall. And I was telling you before that he looked, you asked how old he was. And you said, was he our age? And I was like, probably, but he doesn't look like it. He just looked like those people that grew up to be like football coaches.
A wrestling coach.
A wrestling coach.
High school wrestling coach.
Yeah, he just looked like that. But yeah, he's like, where do you live? Because he asked her, like, where have you been hiding her? And she's like, I don't, what the fuck?
Here's my address and my apartment number.
I know. So I was like, I live here in Crofton. You know, he's like, I said, where do you live? He's like, about 100 yards up that way. And I was like, okay, cool.
Did he walk to the bar? That's good, at least. And he's not drinking
Yeah,
and
maybe
driving.
he did. Hope so. But yeah.
Well, I
I
ask age and looks because I always like to think that in these situations, if he was a good-looking dude with a chiseled jaw, broad shoulders, maybe like, touch me.
If he was really good looking and he did that, I would be really disappointed. Like, oh, you're just a stupid idiot.
Well, those good-looking dudes get away with it.
Not for me.
Like I touch a woman and she melts. She's in my bed immediately.
Well, I think that's kind of what he expected. And it was almost, I felt insulted in a way. And I'm sure that like in a dude brain, this would not make any sense maybe, but I felt almost insulted. Like, you think that you can just sort of touch me and I'm going to be so flattered that I'm getting the attention or that I'm being touched in this way that I'm going to just go for it because, like, I don't know you, dude, at all. Get off me. Do not touch me.
Well, there's always
I didn't say any of this.
There's always that exciting part when you are going on a date with someone new, and if you are getting along, and when it gets to that point where you're kind of touching each other.
See, yeah, I would expect then, that makes sense. This was not that at all.
I know it's not
I
that.
had not
I'm just saying
given
there's
him anything.
There's a confusion, I think, with these people too. I'm like, oh, well, they don't
I was
understand.
drunk too. I
You
was
know.
drunk.
Yeah, maybe that's also testing the waters. It's like if I just brush up against her and she doesn't say anything, then I can get grabby.
No, it wasn't brushing up.
It was a rubbing crotch.
It was like touching me, like he knew me, like putting his hand across
lower back.
yeah,
Yeah.
down and like I'm saying, like I was sitting at the bar and it's like he put his hand on my back, like on my shoulder blades, right? And then he went across and then down around my waist. And I was like, what? And I got myself up and moved over. I was like, no.
Did his hand go into
He
your
was
back
like,
pocket?
No, really? I was like, yes, no.
He was shocked.
And
He was
but
like,
just
really?
a couple of minutes before that, he was telling me, like, he was with his friend, of course, and they were like playing off of each other. Like, this guy's this, blah, blah, this guy, blah, 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 that guy, blah. And he was like, the guy that was hitting on him, he's like, I'm a nice guy, but I'm a piece of shit.
No, he said.
I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, like, I'm a nice guy, but for real, I'm a piece of shit. I was like, okay.
What are you supposed to take from that?
I don't know.
I don't
Not horniness.
I don't understand the point of that. You claim to be a nice guy because you're different from the other guys, or you claim to be a piece of shit because you think the honesty will win the woman over.
I think those are both the same category.
But he mixed them.
Where-
He brought them
No,
together.
I think in his mind those are the same because he's saying like, I'm a really nice guy, and it's because I know I'm a piece of shit. So like, I'm not going to try and trick you and be like, I'm actually this great guy.
This is
which
the other
then
guy.
you would take as ego, like he's humble or something.
Yeah, or at least self-aware.
Right.
I know this about myself. So this was the other guy? Was the other friend good looking?
He was better looking, but still.
Was he married or something? Not that that stops him.
No, the other guy, one of the people that I did end up talking to was married with kids. And I felt safe talking to him because he was like married with kids.
Until he doesn't, he crosses the line too.
No, he didn't. And he actually, like, we were kind of in the middle of talking about something and he turned over to like the friend next to him and was talking to him. And I felt a little bit like, oh, hey, I was like a little disappointed because we were going to say more things. And then I was like, well, fuck it. Who cares?
So what happened ultimately? He
when
called
I
you
told
a
him no.
prude and a bitch.
No, well, that's what I was worried about. I was like, this could get weird. So, yeah, I was worried that because he was drunk, like I was worried that my rejection would start him off in the direction of like, well, fuck you. You think you're fucking this.
I don't even
So-
want to fuck you anyway. You're fucking ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So
always the best, meaning the worst.
yeah, like going to that base level. So I mean, I started to like get into that sort of mindset. But when I told him, I was like, no, and he was like, really? And I was like, no. Mm-mm. And his friend, I think, heard or something, and I looked at him. I was like, I was very polite, like, yeah, sorry, no. I just said no thanks. I didn't say no thanks. I said I told the other guy. I was like, I just said no. He was like, oh, and they were sort of talking, I think, like behind me. Oh, and before that, they were talking, and I truly was not listening. And then I heard them talking about me and about like she's listening to this whole she's been listening to this whole conversation. She's pretending. And I was like, I don't want to interact with you guys, and I don't know how. And so it really did result. Like I'm trying to give you signals so I don't have to outright reject you. But then like he touched me like that, and I was like, no. And then he left me alone. He like turned his back to me, and he was kind of in my space, which was also annoying. It felt like a little bit of a power
You think
play.
he was farting too?
Oh my God. Well, his friend like started talking to me like before all this happened when I was sitting back at the bar, and he was like, he's blah, blah, blah. He was saying something loud. And I was like, you just spit all over my face. Like, get the fuck out of here, you idiots.
How did he react to that?
He was like, oh, blah, sorry. I was like, it's all right.
Well, these
Just,
people,
you know.
they fancy themselves the most charming people in the world quite often. So if you say something like, you spit in my fucking face, that takes them out of that fantasy they have of themselves.
Well, he needed that. Like, dude, step back. We do not know each other.
I'm glad you
You know what I'm saying?
escaped without conflict.
Well, me too. So I was leaving. So I went over to my friend and I said goodbye to her. And then as I was saying goodbye, the dude that had been hitting on me was also saying goodbye. And she and I were talking, like going to talk for a second, but I was like, I better get the fuck out. So we're not, so me and this guy are not walking out at the same time. So I went out to my car and I locked the door.
I would have been in one of the best lays of your fucking life.
Oh my God. I'm sure it would have been like 10 seconds of rabbit humping.
I've got a 12-inch dick. It's a place dudes
Did you
go.
come?
I think guys with big dicks also feel entitled. Like, why wouldn't you want this?
Depends.
Why wouldn't you want to take this? There's also the thing that guys do if they find out you have a boyfriend or you're with someone, like
Yeah.
automatically it's like that person just becomes the dumbest, stupidest
Yeah.
person.
Well,
in the
where
world.
is he?
Yeah.
Why isn't he here? Well, he should be here with you then.
I'll treat you better than he ever will, especially in bed.
Oh, and then it gets real weird. He like gets real aggressive about it. Like, I'm gonna beat his ass. I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm gonna fuck him right in the ass. I'm gonna take off his clothes. I'm gonna passionately kiss him because he's gay.
That's where it usually goes.
I know.
It's where somewhere in their minds, it's getting that extreme. It's going to that length. I'll teach you a lesson by fucking your boyfriend.
Yeah, that's because he's a gay.
Again, it just when dudes go down that path, it's showing that they think of women as an object, and the thing that's keeping them from getting that woman is the other guy who's not even around and has nothing to do with the situation and has no clue that it's happening. It's like, if I can put that guy down and make you see what a
Right.
loser he is, that you're gonna say, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. Okay, I'm coming with you.
Well, yeah, women don't have any way to make their own decisions or have their own thoughts because they're ruled by men.
It's so dumb.
Women wear things for men to see. Women behave. Women are looking cute so that men will respond to it. And then when a man responds to it, they get all pissed off.
Jealousy of a person they don't even know. You're feeling jealous though, I think, because I've been doing these podcasts with Tim.
Me?
Yeah.
Jealous? I'm not jealous.
You used to do podcasts with the Radio Labyrinth, and that fell off.
Yeah, that was because of me, though.
Now you were fired. Just
Oh.
wasn't gelling with the rest of the team. You had to dominate the conversations, didn't ask them questions.
I do want to know what you talked about, though.
On what? You can listen to the
Remember
pop.
remember because you said that you were going to tell me something.
Oh, it was that Reddit thing.
Oh, good.
I said
What did
it,
Tim say about that?
I said I didn't go into the same level of depth. It was more top level when I was talking to Tim. So you actually got more than Tim got. I didn't want to repeat it because it was already brought up on the podcast, which, is just a podcast. It's better when it's a podcast than when it's on the radio. The radio, it's like an hour, which really means 32 minutes, and it's broken up 4 times by commercials. It's hard to do a good show that way. But when it's a podcast, it's just conversation similar to this. And, people are writing. They say they like it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Suddenly they like me because I've attached myself to Tim. When I attach myself to you, they don't like me.
Wait, that's not true.
They don't like you.
Wait.
You hear these people
What's that?
outside? You hear this? I don't know what they're doing out there. Clapping their hands. Who knows?
Oh, maybe it's someone's birthday.
We'll do it somewhere else. Where's the rain? Where's the cold weather?
It's coming.
That's what will keep these people inside. Then you don't have to deal with stuff like this. It was like
they're
the
celebrating. Nice.
It's like when we were trying to do the show the other day, and the guy was getting a haircut on the roof, running his mouth. People don't think. They don't think. Oh, you know what? There may be a recording in progress. I should get a giant on-air light and put it on the outside.
Oh yeah.
Adhere it to the outside of the house. You like that idea?
I was just thinking about it. And then I was thinking about like a barber pole.
When the barber pole is spinning.
And that's how she would counter
she does. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
like
pole.
you put the on-air sign, she puts up a barber pole.
My pole was spinning before your on-air sign was on. So therefore, this is my space. I've claimed it. I think I may be trapped. After we're done recording, I want to go out, but there's a bunch of people I have to talk to at that point.
Oh my God. What are you, Eric? You don't have to talk to them. You're like, hi.
No, you have to. You have to have conversations. What's up?
I don't want to go outside. I always have to perform.
How have you been?
I don't want to call my friend Greg on the phone because I'll have to perform. It's like, what are you fucking talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He used to love having the long conversations, mostly because he got to talk. He would talk. He'd give the advice. He'd share the life stories and the fables and the anecdotes.
Yeah. We don't need him anymore. And he's mad.
He's angry. Doesn't want to have the phone calls anymore.
Daddy's mad at the kids.
You've drifted away and you didn't adopt every belief that I had.
Right. And so now anything that you say or think is some product of another outside influence.
Which actually makes a lot of sense. If there's someone else influencing me, then, when you think that you're the top influence, and then there's another influence that seemingly now is above you, ahead of you, it's got to be difficult.
Yeah.
It's got to be a hard thing to deal with. So I get it.
Yeah.
There was plenty influence that I took and applied to my life because I'm not a fucking clone.
Right.
Doesn't mean that's a bad thing. We should have an hour-long conversation.
I agree.
On the phone.
I agree.
Maybe we just have to do podcasts because when he joined you, when I wasn't here and did an episode of one topic with you, that was an hour long. That was more than an hour long.
Yeah. And that was a good conversation. It was
all about him.
Yeah. But I mean, it was about him. So, but yeah, I think,
I'm the most interesting man.
I think it would be interesting for us to have him on our podcast where we are still leading and he gets to jump in.
You think that would work?
I don't know if it would. I think it would be interesting to see because he would not be the lead and he would not be the topic.
I mean, I'd be willing to do it. I bring up these things
Mm-hmm.
that we're talking about. How do you really
Right. I
feel?
would like to get a more nuanced point of view from him as opposed to what he always says on air. And then for us to be able to counter that and talk about it versus him just like totally dismissing anything, which is what it feels like.
I'd say just admit it. Admit that you feel a bit abandoned because we grew up.
No, but you can't put that on him because then he'll retract even harder.
I'd be more inclined to give a pass for the behavior if he admitted it. It's like, okay, like to me that makes sense. I'm not saying it's
Right, but you can't make him either think that or understand that or admit that. You know what I mean? I don't think it's anything that should be brought up. It should just let it lie, but that's my avoidance.
I don't know what you get from it ultimately, but maybe one
Right,
day.
that's why I avoid it. 'Cause
Maybe
I'm like,
one
I
day
don't
we
feel
can
like
try that.
This would be productive at all.
And then it'll be the most downloaded episode ever.
Yeah.
The best and greatest.
I mean, I talked about it on the show. I feel like my relationship with Eric is a lot like the relationship with my dad, where it's like I would love for it to be different, but I don't totally trust the other person to go there emotionally with me because I'm willing to try and understand them, but I don't think that they're truly either able or willing to understand me.
And you got to take a look at the man in the mirror and
Me?
ask him to change his ways. No, the other people. You got to look at the man in the mirror. Yeah.
Could have been any clever.
If you're the man in the mirror, that's you, Autumn. You're looking at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask that person to change their ways. You have to be willing to take a real look. The ugliness and all. The double chin. The mole with the hair growing out of it. The booger hanging out of the nose. You have to admit that those things are there. And then you can take the steps to change them.
If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change.
That's a good message.
I love that song.
Michael Jackson, still everywhere. There's the Broadway show with Michael Jackson. What a pass.
He also said, if you can't feed the baby, then don't have the baby.
Fair. Very valid point.
I agree. I feel like that might get him canceled these days.
I just feel like, no, that guy's not getting canceled. He should be canceled, and he's not. People are still.
I mean, if all of that were taking place, that song came out right now, then maybe they'd be like, his controversial take on abortion.
Possibly, but the history Michael Jackson has.
Yeah, I agree. I'm saying right then, that point in time.
That's the thing
if
that
we
brings him
applied
down.
today's thinking, that might be problematic.
Well, we can apply today's thinking. I think the point that I'm making is you apply today's thinking into the accusations against him, yet people still revel in his existence. Or his lack
I
of
know.
existence.
It's the same with that guy who beat the shit out of Rihanna. Chris Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets a pass.
So many
I
people
don't think so.
don't get passes just based on accusations alone. It's like, that's enough for me. I'm done with this person.
Can I say something controversial?
No.
Okay. I won't.
Why? What do you want to say? No, you can't say that.
Okay.
No, it's not happening. And on that note, we'll end it.
Are you going to cut that out?
Yeah, that's gone. That's
right, good.
That's not going to be in there. That's not happening. Sorry.
That's fine. Thanks for listening to One Topic. Download, subscribe, rate, and review. Find us online. Support our sponsor, hoffandpepper.com. You can use our code OneTopic15 for 15% off some hot sauce made in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Check out their website. Use our code. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.